Welcome back, football fans. Let's just jump right into it, because today we are breaking down one of the most intriguing matchups of the entire tournament. In this explainer, we're diving deep into a historic Group E clash that perfectly sets up the ultimate David versus Goliath narrative. I mean, on one side of the pitch, we have absolute footballing royalty, and on the other, a brand new underdog stepping into the global spotlight. We're going to unpack the tactics, the formations, and the pure statistical anomalies that make this game a total must-watch.
That is the ultimate question hanging in the air today, isn't it? Are we going to see a brutal, overwhelming statement of intent from a footballing giant? Or is Curaçao going to pull off the truly impossible and send shockwaves around the globe? The tension is already palpable, and let me tell you, the tactical battle lines are definitely drawn.
The juxtaposition here is just wild. Look at this. On one side, you have Germany, a four-time World Cup champion, stepping onto the grass absolutely determined to erase any of their past tournament disappointments. They are on a serious quest to usher in a dominant new era. And on the other side, Curaçao, a Caribbean island nation fully embracing the title of ultimate underdog, stepping onto the world's biggest stage for the very first time in their entire history. Honestly, the history books are already open for this one.
Okay, let's move into our first section. Uncharted territory, the first meeting in history. Since these two national teams have literally never faced each other before, this clash is completely unpredictable. But honestly, neither team is stumbling into this matchup. They are both coming in scorching hot. Germany enters the tournament riding a terrifying 9-match winning streak, and they're looking incredibly sharp, especially fresh off a 2-1 win over the USA. But hey, do not count out the underdogs. Curaçao absolutely stormed through their CONCACAF qualifiers. They remained entirely unbeaten and were actually the highest scoring team with a staggering 28 goals. So confidence? Yeah, that's not going to be an issue for either side today.
And speaking of momentum, we have to talk about the immense weight behind this number, 125. Germany is getting a massive boost today. Their legendary 40-year-old goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer, is returning to the starting 11. By stepping onto the pitch today, he is earning his historic 125th international cap. That's just an incredible milestone, and it brings an unmatched level of veteran composure right to the back of that German formation.
Let's look at how they'll play in Section 2, Germany's high press, firing on all cylinders.
So, manager Julian Nagelsmann has the squad completely dialed in, and we expect him to deploy either a highly aggressive 4-2-3-1 or maybe a fluid 4-3-3 formation designed to just command possession. The engine of that setup is the high press. Germany's strategy is aimed squarely at suffocating the opponent, pinning them deep in their own half, and quite literally trying to kill the game within the first 30 minutes. Germany's greatest weapons lie in those lightning-fast midfield transitions. The second they lose the ball, they are going to swarm to win it back, applying relentless pressure on Curaçao's defense.
And the guys running this offensive machine, they're built to dismantle pretty much any defense. You've got Jamal Musiala with his lethal weaving dribbling, and that's perfectly complemented by Florian Wirtz's elite vision to pick out the perfect pass. Up front, Kai Havertz is expected to play as a false 9. Now his entire job is to drop deep and drag those Curaçao defenders completely out of position. And, well, if they need a battering ram later in the game, they have the massive physical presence of Niklas Füllkrug just waiting on the bench.
Now let's flip the script. Section 3, Curaçao's low block, or as I like to call it, the survival blueprint. Veteran coach Dick Advocaat knows that trying to go toe-to-toe with Germany is basically strategic suicide, so his survival blueprint relies on a highly disciplined 5-4-1 or 4-5-1 low block. It's a 3-step plan. First, pack the penalty box with bodies. Second, completely crowd the half spaces. You know, those crucial gaps between the wing and the center, where guys like Musiala just love to operate. And finally, when they win the ball back, launch immediate, direct counterattacks. The primary goal for Curaçao is super simple. Keep the score at 0-0 for as long as humanly possible, and just let that German frustration slowly build up.
Because Curaçao simply cannot match Germany in terms of pure possession, they're going to rely heavily on the counterattack to actually find the back of the net. And you know what? They have the tools to do it. They'll lean on the experience of their captain, Junio Bakuna, the blistering raw pace of Tae-Hee Chong, and the direct, penetrating runs of Jurgen Locadia. These are former Premier League talents, guys. If Germany's high press leaves any space in behind, these are exactly the players who will exploit it on the break.
Moving right along to Section 4, the head-to-head stats, a real clash of extremes.
When you look past the tactics, the sheer difference between these two squads is mind-blowing. The disparities in their journeys leap right out at you. You have Germany sitting at number 10 in the FIFA rankings,
going up against Curaçao way down at number 82. You see Germany's elite 9-match win streak against top-tier opponents contrasted with Curaçao coming off a recent 4-0 win against Aruba. But perhaps the most incredible stat of all involves the guy standing on the touchlines.
Which brings us to my absolute favorite quirk of the match, 40. Julian Nagelsmann, at 38 years old, is exactly 40 years younger than Curaçao's Dick Advocaat. By managing this game today, the 78-year-old Advocaat officially becomes the oldest manager in World Cup history. No way, right? It's just a brilliant subplot. The young, innovative, tactical mind of Nagelsmann going head-to-head with decades of seasoned, battle-tested wisdom from Advocaat.
But look, we cannot ignore the towering historical advantage of the European giants here. 14. That's the number of times Germany has won in their last 17 World Cup matches against CONCACAF nations. They have lost just twice in that entire span. So yeah, history heavily favors Die Mannschaft when they face teams from this region.
All right, let's bring it all together. Section 5, the final verdict. Are we getting a goal fest or a tactical chess match?
When these two squads walk out onto the pitch inside Houston's NRG Stadium, the dynamic is going to be on an absolute knife edge. On paper, sure, Germany outclasses Curaçao in literally every single department. If Germany manages to score early and break that low block, well, this could easily turn into a heavily one-sided goal fest. We could be looking at a 3-0 or 4-0 victory pretty quick. However, if Curaçao's veteran keeper Eloy Room pulls off a few early miracle saves, everything changes. The longer this thing stays 0-0, the more it transforms into a high-anxiety, grueling tactical chess match.
So what does this all mean? That is where I turn it over to you. We've seen the setups, we've crunched the stats, and we know the strategies. Can Curaçao actually pull off the greatest shock in World Cup history, or will Germany just cruise to an easy 3 points? I want you to drop your exact score predictions in the comments below right now before the final whistle blows. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy the match.